Ukraine and Russia will face each other at International Court of Justice in The Hague over the violation of Genocide Convention. DW explains the situation and what it could mean for Ukraine. On Monday, the International Court of Justice in The Hague, Netherlands, will hear arguments from Ukraine and Russia about possible violations of the 1948 Genocide Convention. Ukraine filed a complaint against Russia with the ICJ on February 26, 2022, 2 days after Russia began its invasion of Ukraine. More than 9,600 people have since the war began. According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, consisting of 15 judges, ICJ is judicial body of UN and only international court that resolves disputes between countries. The case dates back to the early days the war in Ukraine, when Russia used allegations of genocide in regions eastern Ukraine to justify what it called a special military operation. Kiev accuses Moscow of falsely claiming genocide and thus violating the convention. Under Article 1 of the Genocide Convention, an international agreement adopted unanimously at the Third UN General Assembly in 1948, all contracting parties are required to prevent and punish genocide. Both Russia and Ukraine are parties to this agreement. Sergey Vasiliev, associate professor law at the University of Amsterdam, told DW Ukraine has stated that Russia used this excuse to launch military operations against Ukraine, thereby perverting Article 1 Russia's Genocide Convention. Moscow did not attend the previous hearing, held in March 2022, which resulted in Russia being ordered to immediately halt the invasion. In a written application, Russia claimed that court did not have jurisdiction over case because Ukraine's request would not fall within scope of contract. In October last year, Russia initiated official proceedings challenging the ICJ's jurisdiction in the case. UN top court demands end to Russian occupation. To view this video, please enable and consider switching to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. How will the hearings conclude? In hearings that will begin on Monday, parties will present their arguments regarding responsibility of UN court. The Russian Federation is scheduled to start on Monday, followed by Ukraine on Tuesday. On Wednesday, 32 interventionist states, including mostly EU member states but also Canada, Australia and the United Kingdom, will present their views on the case. The hearings are planned to end on September 27. The ICJ will then determine whether it has jurisdiction. Vasiliev thinks the decision could go either way. The legal expert explained that at time of the first preliminary injunction in March 2022, in which Russia did not participate, court had already determined prima facie or legally sufficient jurisdiction at first impression. However, its jurisdiction is only partial and the full jurisdiction of the ICJ needs to be established. The court can only proceed with trial on the merits of case aft.